Alright, it is that time of the year again where I talk about my most anticipated movies of the coming year. This has been a yearly tradition on this channel, and in those videos is when I've taken the opportunity to introduce newcomers to the channel. So if you're new subscriber, new viewer, if this is the first reviews of everything video you're watching, hi, welcome to the channel. I'm Steven, and I review things. It might be a little late to do an anticipated movies list. I feel like everybody got theirs done like weeks ago. But the way I see it, these movies aren't out as of me filming this, so I'm still anticipating them. So better late than never. Now I'm doing this year's anticipated movie list a little differently than I did the previous couple of years. For starters, this is not a top 7 list. The previous years I would go from least anticipated to most anticipated, and it would be like the countdown, the 10, 9, 8, and so on. This year it is not a top 7 list, it's just 7. There's no order, there's no ranking. Of course there are some I'm looking forward to more than others, but that's not how I'm presenting the list to you this year. Really what I want to do with this list is get the obvious ones out of the way in the beginning. Because listen, I'm a big blockbuster fan. I love Marvel, I like Star Wars, I like DC. And honestly, in my head before filming this video, I thought about what my most my number one, what my most anticipated movie of each of the previous years of my life has been, that I can remember of course. And it's either been a Marvel movie, a Star Wars movie, a couple of DC movies in there. So to go with the countdown, this is the third one of these I've done. It starts to get a little old when you're watching the whole video and you're like, well, I wonder what number one's going to be, because I'm a Marvel fan, I'm biased in that way, so you can probably predict what it's going to be. And I just wanted to present them in a different way, get the obvious ones like the Marvel movies out of the way in the beginning, and then hopefully there'll be a couple of surprises to you all as the video goes on. And the other thing I'm doing differently is I'm only talking about 7 movies. Last couple of years I did 10. And the reason behind that is, I guess I'm in a different headspace as the year begins, and also some of the movies on the list don't really have trailers yet, so I'm just kind of going off of just the name and whatever premise is out there. And as I find out more things, the ranking kind of changes, and sometimes it just straight up gets to a point where I'm not that excited for the movies. If we're looking at last year's list, Avatar: Way of Water was an honorable mention. Honestly, in retrospect, I probably would have put that in the main 10. Black Adam was number 10, but when I went to go see that movie in the theater, I just had no excitement for it at all. I was just going to see a movie. And a couple of them I don't even think I ended up seeing in theaters, because I guess I just didn't feel the need to go and watch them. Since I've graduated college and, started working, I don't go see every single movie in the theater, just cause I guess it's just, I just don't. And so it got to the point where, some movies, for example, Lightyear was one of them. I was eager to, check it out, but I guess I just never ended up seeing it in theaters. I just didn't feel compelled to. I just waited till it came out on Disney+. So this year, it's only 7, because I looked at the list of the movies coming out this year, and I thought, alright, which one of these would I actually, go out of my way to see in the theater? And of course, by the end of the year, that can still change, but I really thought about it, what would I actually, get in my car, drive to the theater, and go watch? And these were the 7 I came up with, so that's why it's only 7 this year. There were a couple I could have maybe thrown on here just to get it at 10, but I guess I just don't have that excitement for them, that I don't even really know what I would talk about. So it is for that reason that this list is my 7 most anticipated movies of 2023. Not top 7, just 7 movies I'm looking forward to, really in no particular order. So with that out of the way, there's no honorable mentions. We might as well just get right to it. As I said, we're getting the obvious ones out of the way first. And also, as I said, I'm a Marvel fan. Out of the 3 Marvel movies coming out this year, 2 of them are on the list. So starting out at number 1, we have Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumania. It's kind of crazy that this one comes out in a few weeks, but yeah, Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumania. I've been very impressed with the trailers. Honestly, that last one got me so excited. Excitement that I haven't felt since I was a teenager and we were in the golden age of the MCU. As we've been getting through Phase 4, now we're getting into Phase 5, we've been getting a lot more MCU projects than we're all used to. So it is kind of hard to get excited for them, at least in the same way I did back in the day. But I gotta say, Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumania has a lot going for it. It really does have everything that I enjoy out of Marvel movies. Seems like there's a compelling story with Scott Lang. He missed his daughter's teenage years and he's making up for lost time. And of course, she didn't have a father for 5 years. She thought he was dead. So you've got that personal, sort of grounded storyline. You got stuff from the comics. We got MODOK in this movie. You got Kang the Conqueror, 2 of the biggest Marvel villains who haven't been in a movie yet. And it also just looks really hype. The scene where Kang is kicking the absolute shit shit out of Ant-Man. And he's not cracking jokes. He's like bleeding, he's sweating, and he actually looks scared for his life. There's that great line where it's like, I don't have to win, we just both have to lose. It just shows the weight of this villain. Like, he has to stop him here and now, or else bad things are going to happen. And I'm guessing that doesn't work out, because we got an Avengers movie called The Kang Dynasty coming out in a couple of years. Just based on those trailers alone, Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumania is giving me what I go to these Marvel movies for. I really feel like they're listening when it comes to a lot of the backlash that came to Phase 4 over the humor and stuff. And I'm really excited to see this movie. It's only a couple of weeks away. I already have my tickets, which is crazy. If this was a top 7 list, this would probably be my number 1 of the year. For that reason, just it brought me back to that excited, like it brought me those feelings of like being a kid again and being excited about these movies. So yeah, starting out the list with my number 1 of the year, which is unexpected. Don't worry, I've still got plenty to say about the others on this list. So number 2 is Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3. As I said, just getting the Marvel stuff out of the way, because you know it's going to be on the list. This one I'm very excited for, but for a different reason than Quantumania. While Quantumania looks like a really fun, hype, epic, action Marvel movie, Guardians looks to be a little bit more personal. This is going to be the very last movie featuring this particular ensemble of the Guardians. Probably the last movie James Gunn is doing for Marvel now that he's the big head honcho of DC. So I'm just as excited for this one, but for that reason of it just looks like it's going to be a really touching, sad, emotional roller coaster of a movie. It's been a while in the MCU that we've had a sort of ending to a story that's been going on for a while. Of course, this one started all the way back in 2014 with the first one, then the second one in 2017, then we got him in a couple of Avengers movies over the years, and this is it. This is going to be the finale to the Guardians of the Galaxy as we know them. With Ant-Man, I expect to be on the edge of my seat, you know, cheering and applauding, but with Guardians Volume 3, I hope to be just laying back in my seat as a tear trickles down my eye as we say goodbye to these beloved characters who I never thought these characters would have the impact that they have had on pop culture. Never could have imagined that, so I'm looking forward to seeing how their story wraps up. You got James Gunn back in the director's chair. We almost didn't have him, but now we have him. Got a feeling some people are gonna die. I don't know who. Well, I mean, I have sort of a rough idea. All I'll say is the trailers make it seem like a certain character is going to die, although I feel like that's just a red herring, and it's gonna be another character, but we'll see. This one comes to us on May 5th, and I'm looking forward to it. Okay, the Marvel movies are out of the way. Now these next 2 are going to be carryovers from last year. Funny enough, they were actually honorable mentions last year, and now they're in the main list of this one. The first one is Creed 3. As I mentioned in last year's video, I watched all the Rocky movies. I think like I was 15 or 16. I watched them because the first Creed was coming out. I enjoyed them. I enjoyed Creed, then I saw Creed 2 in the theaters when it came out, and now we have Creed 3. This movie basically looks like it's going to be Michael B. Jordan versus Jonathan Majors. Looks like they were old friends, and, you know, Jonathan Majors' character's in a rough place, and so Michael B. Jordan helps him out, brings him status, and it looks like he takes advantage of that. And that causes conflict between them, and you know they're gonna duke it out in the ring in the end. Seems like a simple story, but the simplest stories are often the most effective. I'm all about like childhood friends becoming enemies and having to fight. I like these actors. Michael B. Jordan, this is his directorial debut. No Sylvester Stallone in this one though, which is something I got wrong on last year's list. Well, I think it was announced at the time that he would be in it, but I'm not too certain of the details, but I guess there was some behind-the-scenes conflict, and he dropped from the project. So is Rocky Balboa dead? I don't know. I think he said he'd come back later on, depending. I forget exactly why. But either way, no Sylvester Stallone in this movie, which of course is sad. But I don't know how much more you can do with Rocky Balboa as a character, which is why I don't mind that this one is all about Adonis Creed. It seems like a very personal story. You know, him fighting his childhood friend, and of course him continuing to raise his family. And yeah, this one comes to us in March, and I'm looking forward to it. Alright, number 4 is the Super Mario Brothers movie. It's been quite a journey with me for the Mario movie. When that cast list was first announced, which is still on my channel, go check it out, I took it seriously. I thought, okay, they're announcing the Mario cast, Chris Pratt as Mario, that's a bit strange. Oh, Anya Taylor-Joy, that's good. Like, I was taking it seriously. I thought, okay, yeah, it's the Mario cast, like, these are the people voicing these characters. But I was probably the only person on the planet that took it seriously, because after uploading my video, I went and watched these other reactions to the news, and everybody's just laughing their heads off, and that sort of put this idea in my head that, okay, I'm supposed to laugh at this movie. Okay, I mean, I guess, like, if everybody else is laughing at it, it'd be weird that I'm not, so it's a joke movie now, it's a meme movie. So I went into that first trailer ready to laugh at it, ready to complain about how bad it looked, but then the trailer happened, and it looks epic, and it looks way better animated. Like, I knew it would look fine because it's Illumination, but this might just be one of the best looking movies they've ever done based on the trailers. And some of the voice cast kind of won me over. With Jack Black as Bowser, I just thought, okay, he's gonna do his normal Jack Black voice, like he's just gonna come out like,
"Hey, how's it going?"
But no, he's doing like a villain voice, and like it didn't even really sound like him at first. I was like, whoa, that's Jack Black. And of course, Chris Pratt as Mario is still really controversial, but I'm kind of slowly but surely getting behind it. And you know, the whole reason I took that casting announcement so seriously is because, and I explained this in the video where I reacted to the cast, it's because when I was a kid, you know, back when like the first Avengers came out, and it was just this really cool thing that had really never been done before, at least not on that scale. I got really into Smash Brothers at the time, and I thought, oh man, that'd be so cool if like they did a Nintendo cinematic universe, like a series of films where like each character has their own solo movie, and then they come together in a Super Smash Brothers movie. And I thought, make them animated, because, you know, you got characters like Mario and Star Fox, and it's just like, I feel like animation could capture those worlds and those characters a lot better than just some guy in a suit like Smosh did that one time. So now there is this animated Mario movie coming out, and now I'm hearing rumors that Illumination wants to do a Zelda movie as well. This could be happening. This really could. And I want to be the guy that called it, because I called it in that first Mario video too, that I said they're doing this, and I still think they are. But either way, getting aside the point here, the Mario movie on its own, then that second trailer came out, and it looks good. And actually, that was the point I was getting to. When I was imagining, you know, a Nintendo cinematic universe, I never imagined Mario would sound like he does in the games. I figured it'd be a little bit less cartoony, a little bit more real, and it sounds like Chris Pratt is doing more of like a New York accent than this, you know, exaggerated Italian one. And I don't know, I always imagined that was kind of how Mario would sound like if they ever did a movie. So it really, this might be a hot take, but like it really does not bother me. The Chris Pratt Mario voice, like, not really. Of course it takes some getting used to because it's different than what we're used to, but like I genuinely don't mind it. Like, it's growing on me. But yeah, that second trailer also really wowed me. It looks like a really good time. I'll be first in line to see this movie. You know, I played the Mario games throughout my life. Just the character of Mario means so much to so many people, and it looks like Illumination is really trying here to deliver a satisfying Mario movie for the fans. It really helps that Miyamoto, Mario's creator, is heavily involved. So yeah, you know what? This is just I'm taking the firm stance right here and right now. I am unironically excited for the Mario movie. If that bothers you, you're welcome to complain in the comments. That's what the comment section's for. But I'm excited for it. Genuinely can't wait to see it. Coming to us April? Yes, April 7th. It's coming to us April 7th. Let's go. Or should I say, let's go. Alright, number 5 is Elemental. This is the next Pixar movie coming to us this year. And Pixar has been kind of hit or miss the last few years. I really enjoyed ones like Inside Out and Soul. And then of course Lightyear was on my list last year, which I watched. I waited until it came out on Disney Plus because, like I said, I just didn't feel the need to watch it in the theater. And I thought it was okay, but I haven't really thought about Lightyear much since it came out. But with Elemental, you got this really cool original idea. You got this city full of people that are elemental. You know, you got that dirt lady with the potted kids. You got those clouds that look an awful lot like the ones from that short film that played before Up. But I guess the whole deal with Elemental is it's a love story between a water guy and a fire girl. It's like such a simple premise, but like it's never been done, and I'm just really interested to see how that works out. I don't think Pixar, to my knowledge, has done like a traditional love story. They said Toy Story 4 would be one, but it wasn't like the love story was like the center of that, you know? So I'm interested in seeing a love story as like the main story of a Pixar film. And of course, you know, the troubles that would come with a guy made of water dating a girl made of fire. The animation looks really sweet, pretty much expected out of Pixar at this point. But yeah, this one's got my attention. I feel like this one could be really good if they play their cards right. And yeah, you know, I will go see this in the theater. Like, I genuinely, like I said, only put movies on here that I want to go see in the theater, and I'll go see this one. The story alone has my interest, but I'm sure I'll hopefully get a lot more out of it. Okay, number 6 is Oppenheimer. This is the next Christopher Nolan movie coming to us in July. Christopher Nolan is easily one of my favorite filmmakers. I've seen all of his movies, except Insomnia. That's the only one I haven't seen. And I feel like it's been a little while since he's done like a character study movie, but it seems like we're finally getting that in the form of Oppenheimer, this movie starring Cillian Murphy with this giant ensemble cast, just to name a few from the list I read. Florence Pugh, Matt Damon, Robert Downey Jr., Kenneth Branagh, Josh Peck. Josh Peck is in the Oppenheimer movie. I'm really looking forward to that. But yeah, a movie that studies the father of the atomic bomb. And you know, I've got to say that I Am Become Death interview is probably one of the most captivating, like, pieces of footage of a person I've seen. This is a guy who basically invented the potential end of the world. And, I'd love to see a movie about how that happened, how that guy reacted to that. This is good. This is a good one. I'm looking forward to it. I mean, I trust Christopher Nolan anyway, but this one looks like it's going to be a really special one. Finally, number 7 is Indiana Jones and the Dial of Destiny. The fact that this movie's finally coming out is kind of surreal to me. They announced it way back in 2016. They said it was first coming out in 2019. Then it just kept getting delayed, and then delayed again, and then delayed again. But it looks like we're finally getting it this year. This is the 5th and probably final Indiana Jones movie, at least starring Harrison Ford as Indiana Jones. And yeah, I've always been a fan of this series. Like, I'm not gonna lie, my very first exposure to it was Lego Indiana Jones. The first one, not the second one, just forget the second one. I played that game when it came out, and then I don't think I actually watched the movies until like years later. But they're just really fun, blockbuster movies. George Lucas, Steven Spielberg. Those first 3 were pretty damn good. The 4th one, I don't know, I enjoy it. Like, I know most people don't, but I don't think I remember ever hating it. It's been a while, maybe I'll watch it again and hate it. But those first 3 are just really entertaining. Of course, it's been 15 years since Kingdom of the Crystal Skull, so I'm looking forward to seeing one last Indiana Jones adventure. It seems like Harrison Ford has still got it. I'm probably the only guy who wouldn't mind seeing Shia LaBeouf again. Like, I say what you will about him as a person, I think he's kind of an underrated actor, and who knows, maybe they'll give him a cameo just for cameo's sake. He is the son of Indiana Jones after all. And I'll admit, it doesn't look as good as those original movies. It looks like there's a little bit more CGI being used as opposed to practical effects. But apparently this movie is about time travel. This is probably the last thing that this series has yet to tackle. Of course, the last one did Aliens. So where do you go from there? You've done Aliens. It feels like time travel is a logical next step, especially as the finale to the series. They could always go back to those original movies. And I don't know, like, it just seems like a cool concept. Whether or not it'll be executed well, I guess we'll see. But just the mere fact that we're getting an Indiana Jones movie this year is why it's on my list. Although it's not directed by Steven Spielberg, it is being directed by James Mangold, who has really proven himself in recent years with movies like Logan. And Logan was also the finale, or at least at the time, of a very popular character in pop culture. So I'm interested in seeing what he does with this one, this finale to Indiana Jones. I'm really hoping this one's good. My fingers are really crossed on it. Either way, can't wait to check it out when it comes to us in theaters in June. And yeah, that's the list. I really enjoyed talking about these movies with you all, and I'm looking forward to seeing them in theaters. I'm really glad that, we're at a point where theaters are just back open, people are going to theaters again. I really thought with the pandemic that would be the end of things, but doesn't look like it. And yeah, with that is the list. Thank you all so much for watching. Got a couple more videos in the pipeline. My next one is probably going to be a Lost Media one, and I know how excited that might get some of you. My Lost Media videos have proven pretty popular in the past compared to my other ones, so be on the lookout for that. And yeah, if there's anything else you would like to see from this channel, just leave it in the comments, and I am open to suggestions. Alright guys, that's gonna do it for me today. I hope you all enjoyed the video. Be on the lookout for more. Subscribe, stay frosty, all you beautiful people, and have a great one.